So, um, before our discussion this morning, any question, by the way? No? Do you have clarification with regards to our schedule, with regards to our topic, and with regards to the plates? I think I have already returned your plate. I don't know if gikuha ba diri sa inyong class rep. Wala man siguro. Wala. But you can actually get your plates here. Both plate number
Ikuha
3
na
and
po,
plate
sir.
number 4. Gikuha na nimo?
Sir, ganun.
Okay. Ang plate number 4 na nasad. Pwede nasad makuha. So anyway, please be reminded of our quiz number 3, no? This coming Thursday, and that will be our last quiz. And this afternoon, we are going to discuss the beam design for shear. No? So let me share with you my screen. Okay. So if you recall, no, all the things that we have discussed, no, during our previous topics, no, starting from the singly reinforced rectangular beams, no, to T-beams, no, all of those we are actually talking about the flexural capacity, no, of our beam. No? Flexural capacity, meaning we are designing the beam based on the requirement, no, or based on what would be the requirement of that particular beam based on flexural strength. So meaning we are designing not only the dimension of the beam, but together with it, we are also designing the number of the reinforcement needed, or the main reinforcement, the longitudinal reinforcement needed for our beam to resist flexural strength. Okay, so again, this afternoon, we are going to discuss or talk about the design for our beam in terms of shear capacity. No? As we recall, if we talk about flexural members, no, like beam, this is actually characterized, its strength is characterized by its flexural and strength capacity. So I am here showing you the front page, no, of our lecture note wherein this is already uploaded, no, sa tuang Google Classroom. So kindly download it, and that would be our reference now for this particular topic. Now, kindly take a look, no, sa kaning picture nga tuang gi-attach diri. Okay, so this is a beam. Ayan, and you will notice nga makita diha no ang iyang reinforcement, no, natay duha ka klase nga reinforcement. The longitudinal reinforcement, no, wherein we have two reinforcement at the top and three longitudinal reinforcement at the bottom. And you will notice that we have stirrups here, no? Ayan, equally spaced, no? From end to end of our beam. So kindly go over with it, no? Kindly check it, no? Internalize it. And after our discussion, I am going to ask you, no, for any configuration or detail of this beam which are not compliant based on the code, no? So mangutana ko sa inyo ana later on. Okay? So course outcome, no, of this presentation. So number one, explain shear failure mechanism and the role of shear enforcement in concrete beams, no? And we are going to utilize the ECI 318-14. Together with it is the NECP 2015. Now for the shear design equations, no, we're shear design equations that we are going to use, no, to determine the shear capacity of a rectangular beam. And of course, we are going also to discuss appropriate stirrups spacing, no, if this reinforcement meet with the shear strength requirement. No? Together with it are the minimum and maximum spacing, no, that we are going to follow if we are going to detail or schedule our beam, no, for actual design. And lastly, we are going to solve practical problems, no, involving shear capacity of concrete beams. But this afternoon, we are not going to have sample practical problems. No? We are going to discuss sample problems with regards to shear capacity of beam next week na siya. No? For now, we are just going to tackle the theory and principle behind, no, on the design of concrete beam in terms of the shear capacity. So I have here a picture, no, which showing here the reinforcement of a beam, no. And so you will notice that there are two types of reinforcement presented. No, we have the longitudinal reinforcement characterized by the top and bottom reinforcement. No, and these stirrups which bind, no, or the longitudinal reinforcement altogether. So if you notice here, in most cases siguro ang atong makita is this type of stirrups, no, wherein it has only two legs, no. Ayan, itong legs na yan, no, or meaning ito, no. So this is what we call the leg of our stirrups. Ito, no, or yan, ito. Okay? But take note, depending on the capacity or depending on the load that is shear load that it is carrying, you can actually design or have a stirrups which is more than two legs, no? Just like this one. If you notice, ito, meron tayong internal stirrups dito, no? Which is an additional stirrups, no? Additional to the one that commonly used, no, yung two legs na stirrups. So the number of legs, no, the number of legs is actually dependent on the capacity, no? Meaning we are going to define first what would be the ultimate shear load that the beam is carrying, and using that ultimate shear load we can now design, no, or decide, no, the number of legs that we need to use, no, in our beam, no? Not only the number of legs but also the distance, no, or the spacing, no, of these particular stirrups. Alright. So introduction. So for flexural members, this is what I mentioned a while ago. The bending force of a flexural member is characterized by its moment capacity and shear capacity. Wherein the moment capacity of the beam is carried by our longitudinal reinforcement, no? The compression reinforcement and that of the tensile reinforcement. While the shear capacity is carried or is defined, no, by our shear or the stirrups, no, of our beam. And take note, the shear always accompanies bending forces, while concrete beams crack in flexure with cracks forming perpendicular to the longitudinal reinforcement. So meaning this is actually or the stirrups are not only there not for to add to additional capacity of the beam in terms of shear, but it can also, no, help our beam to not experience cracking, no, in terms of our um, flexural, no, requirement. So note that by the time the beam is to be designed for shear, the beam sections or dimensions are already determined. No? Kay, in most cases, or in the design of beam, we are going to design it, no, based on the flexural requirement first. And after that, it's the time we are going to design it based on the shear capacity. So meaning when we are going to design our beam based on the shear capacity, we already have the dimension of our beam. No? So in other words, we don't have problem with regards to the dimension of our beam since it is already done, no, with regards to the beam design on the flexural capacity. So in that case, no, ang usually nato diri ma-determine when we are going to design our beam based on the shear capacity is the number of legs for our stirrups together with the spacing of our stirrups, no? Ayan. And of course, no, the diameter, no, of the stirrups that we are going to use, no, together with its yield strength, no. Kung dapat ba nato siya increase, dapat ba nato siya gamayan. No, kay in most cases man god kung unsay yield strength sa tong main reinforcement, sometimes we can reduce the yield strength of our stirrups, no, kay dili magay siya ana gyud ka kumbaga um, critical, no? So for example, if you are going to use grade 60 for your as the yield strength of your main reinforcement, you can reduce the yield strength no, of your stairs to grade 40. And sometimes also pareho sila no, o yield strength or grade, again, no, depending on the load that the beam is carrying. Alright? Okay, so if we recall in our mechanics of deformable bodies, if you are talking about rectangular sections, no, the shear, which is represented by symbol tau, is actually equal to the shear force times the Q divided by the moment of inertia times the B. Now, wherein itong Q na to, this is simply equal to the shear area times the location of the particular area to the neutral axis. No? And that is actually Y. And as we all know, when the bending force is zero, that's the location wherein our shear is also maximum. No? So meaning at a zero bending stress, wherein in most cases the bending stress is zero at the neutral axis. So meaning at the neutral axis, the shear is also maximum. No? Yeah, or the shear is maximum. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so this is an experimental study. So let me ano, change the font size kay naputol. Okay. This is the experimental study of a beam. If you notice here, no? So the beam is actually subjected to different types of internal loading. If you recall in our structural theory, we have three types of internal loads, no? The axial, no? The shear, and the moment. No? And if you talk about shear, no, you will notice here in this particular triangle, the shear is actually acting in both axes. No? We have shear along the x-axis and shear also along the y-axis. So meaning if we are going to get the resultant of this shear, then it will reduce or it will be or it will have this particular shear. No? We call this one is as a diagonal tension. No? Diagonal tension. So actually the concrete has an appreciable strength in terms of pure shear. So when we say pure shear, this is the type of shear wherein it is directly acting towards our section. No? It could be along the x-axis or just like this one, or it could be along the y-axis. No? If dili lang diagonal ang ato ang shear, then the concrete can actually withstand that one. But unfortunately, since we have these types of shear direction, the resultant of this is actually diagonal. So meaning since this is diagonal, then the concrete since it is diagonal, it becomes a diagonal tension, and we all know that when we talk about tension, the concrete is very weak no in that particular stress. So meaning we need to have a reinforcement no to add additional requirement to resist this particular diagonal tension. That's the rule of our stirrups. Okay? So unfortunately, the byproduct of our shear force on a section is accompanying the diagonal tension, wherein this is a tension stress. So meaning very weak yung ating concrete in terms of tension, then we need to reinforce our concrete. No? We need to reinforce the concrete so that it can resist the diagonal tension. So, the diagonal tension, itong symbol na to, will cause crack. No? Yun yung magkukos ng cracking. So, which is, wherein it is expressed in terms of this formula. No? The QT is simply equal to the stress times its angle. This is actually the stress acting along the y-axis. And this is the stress acting along the x-axis. Wherein this particular stresses is maximum at an angle of 45 degrees. Okay? Ayan. So using the Mohr circle, ayan, so if you still remember no, the Mohr circle, no? So we have this particular Mohr circle here, and if you notice here, the shear stresses is defined by this particular diagonal tension. No? So itong diagonal tension nito, this will cause the cracking. No? Itong mga cracks na yan. No? Okay? So here I am showing a typical beam elevation no? Supported by columns at both ends. No? If we have this type of cracks, no? This is actually flexural crack. No? wherein mostly it is at the midspan of our beam at the bottom, no? And kung naa kay ngun ani nga crack, but it is at the top, then we call that one as the compression crack, no? And sometimes flexural crack is or can be related to shear cracking, especially if it is in a form of diagonal cracks, mostly 45 degrees. No? So flexural or shear crack. Now, there are two types of shear cracking. No? If we are going to take diagonal cracks along the left segment of our beam, then that is a negative shear. While on the other hand, at the right segment naman, that is actually the positive shear. No? But take note, in the design of shear capacity for beams, we do not care about the unit or about the sign convention of our shear, no? Because we are going to design our beam based on the maximum value of our shear capacity. So meaning regardless if it is negative or positive, it doesn't matter. Okay, kuon naman nato tong pinakanakaw dito nga iyahang shear capacity or shear load, no? And then we are going to design our shear reinforcement based on that particular value. So meaning we are just going to get the absolute value of our shear, no? Of our shear loading. So the shear capacity of concrete is based on the tensile strength, since concrete failure due to excessive shear force is due to the diagonal tension. And most of the time, the shear capacity of our concrete is defined by the modulus of rupture. Okay, wherein the modulus of rupture is simply equal to the square root of Fc prime. So that is why later on, when I am going to present the shear capacity of our concrete, most of the time it is in terms of the modulus of rupture. No? Okay, the modulus of rupture is actually defines the tensile strength, no, of our concrete. Okay. Okay, so types of shear reinforcement, no? Sometimes the stirrups is arranged diagonally, no? Just like this. And actually, this is the ideal, no? Um, arrangement of our stirrups. Okay? But if we are going to take a look of it, medyo dili siya ingunana ka common, no? Usually ang atong ginagamit are vertical stirrups, no? The purpose of diagonal stirrups is actually to resist the action of shear cracks, no? Because as what I have mentioned kanina, when we talk about shear cracks, it is actually diagonal, no? By about 45 degrees ang iyang maximum, no? Maximum where the shear is maximum. So meaning if this is 45 degrees, no, yung ating shear crack, we need to arrange our stirrups in such a way that it will be opposite, no, to the direction of the crack. So meaning if the crack is forming like this, in this direction, then the shear or the stirrup should be along the opposite direction, just like this one. But take note, if the structural component is subjected to lateral forces, just like earthquake, no, it will have a reversal of force, no, RF. So meaning it could be that the cracks is forming like this, or it could be like this, no, positive shear. So in other words, if we are going to arrange our stirrups in diagonal configuration, then it could be nga mamali ihang arrangement, no? Kay pwede man nga to ang crack is pana. So meaning the direction of our stirrups now is parallel to the direction of our cracks. So murag wala na din siya pulos, no? That is why commonly the stirrups is arranged vertically so that it can resist not only negative shear but also positive shear. Okay, so that's the explanation actually, no, why we are using vertical stirrups, no. So at the same time, we can also have our longitudinal bars as part of our resisting element for shear, no, especially if we are going to bend it like this. Okay, so these longitudinal bars now are not only um, helping our concrete to withstand flexural stress, but also this is also used for shear reinforcement, no? So, ayan. So, stirrups are often vertical. So, just what I have mentioned or discussed kanina, no? And inclined stirrups and bent up bars are not very practically used, no? For its high labor cost for positioning them, no? So mao nang usually dili kay ginagamit ang ato ang diagonal stirrups, no? And also for bent bars, usahay ginaputol ra na diri. For example, we only need extra bars at the top along this particular distance, then sometimes ila ra ng putlon, no? Dili na nila ginalaos dito, no? Kay dili man siya gid required nga lahos, no? This is just for additional reinforcement for shear capacity. If you are going to design your beam based on the maximum value of the shear, then you don't need this particular bent bars, no? So what are the benefits of shear reinforcement? So number one, no, stirrups carry shear across the crack directly. So meaning if you have shear crackings, no, so stirrups can actually resist, no, that particular cracks. So it promote aggregate interlock, no, because if you imagine it, we have this one as our top reinforcement, and these are the bottom reinforcement. The stirrups are actually holding this particular reinforcement, thereby making like a core, concrete core, no? Wherein itong part na to, this is the concrete core. Yung mga aggregates natin dito is actually enclosed, no, within the stirrups, no? So it interlocks, no, our aggregates. Okay? And confine the core of the concrete in a beam, thereby increasing the strength and ductility. No? It also confines the longitudinal bars and prevent concrete cover from splitting of the beam. And it holds the pieces of the concrete on either side of the crack together and prevent the crack from propagating into the compression region. No? So meaning if you have this as your concrete cover, kung na-crack pali diri, magawas. So at least na siya sa concrete cover. No? It cannot propagate, no, going to the concrete core since we have these stirrups as our additional reinforcement. So let us go now to the corresponding principles or equations, no, governing the shear capacity of beams. So according to NSCP 2015 section 409 5.1, no, the nominal capacity of our beam, no, multiplied by its reduction factor, no, and should be ano, or in other words, this actually relates that the load capacity of our beam in terms of the shear, no, yung ating ultimate load VU should dapat kanya siya less than, it should be less than the capacity of our shear capacity of our beam. So all in all, if you're going to equate this one, no, the nominal moment capacity is simply equal to the ultimate moment capacity divided by the reduction factor, wherein the reduction factor is simply equal to 0.75. Now, so please take note of this, no, based on section 421.2. Kay if you recall, the reduction factor for flexural capacity or moment capacity, it could be, or it is dependent on the section, no? It could be a tension controlled, it could be a compression controlled, or it could be a transition controlled. So wherein each corresponding type of section will have a corresponding value of reduction factor. Wherein pag tension controlled siya, naka-reduction factor na 0.9. No? Pag compression naman, you will have a value of 0.65. And then for transition control, da kay formula ni, wherein imong i-derive ang value sa imong reduction factor. But take note, for shear, we only have one reduction factor, and that is 0.75. All right. So any questions so far? Do you have clarification? Do you have clarification, guys? Before ta mag-proceed, medyo medyo ubay-ubay na itong probation nga itong isgutan after ani. Dapat masabtan sa una itong mga previous, no, before ta mag-proceed. Do you have question, clarification? Yes, kitsa ba to? None so far, okay. None so far or wala na minaw. Okay, so group Brayunta, no? So according to ECI 318 or NCP 2015, no, the shear capacity of most beam is determined by the combined strength of the shear strength, no, of our concrete and the shear reinforcement, which is the stirrups. So meaning we can equate this particular provision by simply adding the shear capacity provided by the concrete and the shear capacity provided by our shear reinforcement or the stirrups. So meaning the nominal moment capacity V sub n is simply equal to the V sub c plus V sub s. Wherein we all know that the V sub n is simply the ultimate shear divided by the reduction factor, thereby changing this particular equation into we can also relate this equation into such a way nga bio nga to ang kwaon. Parang ganyan, no? Okay? And take note, we have here two values of shear. No? We have the shear for concrete, ito pala, no? And the shear for steel or stirrups. Okay? So let us discuss first the shear for concrete. Ayan. So NSCP 2015 section 4.5.5, we have different values of our shear capacity for concrete. No? Wherein yung V sub C natin is depending on the nature of our beam. No? If the beam or if our non-pre-stressed member or beam is not carrying an axial force, then we have here the formula for the V sub C that is equal to 0.75, 0.17 lambda square root or the modulus of rupture B sub W times D. No? So if you notice here na I subscript ng W yung B natin, meaning this is the width of our web. No? And we have additional symbol here lambda. This is the weight modification factor. Wherein this becomes equal to 1 if we are using a normal weight concrete. No? I think I have given this to you. I have given the values of lambda based on the type of concrete. Kindly go over dito sa to ang pinaka-primero nga lecture note, no? The weight modification factor. Ay mga different values dito sa lambda, which is based on the type of our concrete elements. No? So this is actually a simplified approach, no? A simplified method or a simplified formula wherein we can equate the B sub C equal to this relationship, no? Ayan. And we also have a detailed or more detailed calculation, no? Or calculation for the concrete capacity wherein it is equal to the least value of these three relationships, no? Ayan. So if you notice, meron tayong additional dito na ratio, no, ng ating shear V sub U and moment M sub U. Okay? So ito same lang naman to. Itong first na formula same lang dito, only that iya lang yung gitanggal. No? And then point instead nga 0.17 we have 0.29. So take note yung shear nga B sub U, ultimate shear, and then the moment sub U, it should be simultaneous, no? It should be simultaneous, no? So for example, if you have different types of beam, no? Kay daghan klase nga beam diha with different span, no? Lain ang iyang mga span. And then you are going to define or design the shear capacity of the beam. So for example, siya moment diagram, like that. It should be that the maximum value or the maximum value of the moment na kaya mong gamiton sa kaningang formula, no? Di ba kung mag-design kita, actual design kita sa tong beam, we have different load combinations, no? And then based on those load combinations, pilion nato itong pinakadako nga load combo, ito din nato i-design ng ato ang beam based on the requirement for the ultimate moment capacity. So take note, no, you're not going to use the maximum shear, no, for that matter. Okay? Magdepende man ang imong moment capacity kung unsa to nga load combo imuha siyang i-design. So meaning regardless if the ultimate moment capacity from that particular load combo based on shear is maximum or not. No? It should be used simultaneously to that of the maximum value of our ultimate moment capacity in terms of moment. No? So daily dapat siya ma-interchange. Alright? So now this is for design of beam or concrete strength capacity for beams not carrying axial load. No? If it is carrying an axial load, meron tayong more detailed na equation. Ito. No? You will notice that from the original formula, ayan, naatay additional diri nga factor. Okay? Ayan. 1 plus NU all over 14 times the gross sectional area. Wherein take note, itong inis niyo na to, ito yung axial compression na it should be positive. Okay? It should be positive. No? Meaning, positive siya, that means it is compression. Kaya kung tension siya, then, no? Kung if the beam is carrying a tensile axial force, then you cannot use this formula. No? Because the axial force na that we are talking here should be always be compression. Otherwise, pag tension siya, then you don't need to add additional factor. Okay, kung compression man gud siya, that means you are adding this factor. This will try to increase the shear capacity or beam. Okay, plus 1 man siya. Diba? 1 plus a particular value. So, meaning it is increasing the shear capacity of our concrete. No? No? And it can only happen if the beam is carrying an axial compression. Okay, kung tension siya, weak man nga ang concrete in terms of tension. So, dili dapat mag-increase ang iyang shear capacity if that would be the case. Now, so meaning you can only use this for members carrying an axial compression, meaning if the beam is carrying an axial tension, then do not use this formula. You either use this formula simplified or the detailed formula. No? Ayan. Okay? Okay, so for this particular value, or this is the simplified method, no? For beams with axial compression, detailed method naman is ito. Ayan. So tulog yapon, no? Yeah, list value yapon ang ato ang atong kwaon. So if you notice, same naman yapon ang kaninga formula dire. Okay, only that na ay additional nga mga factors in terms of inyo, no? Just like this, no? Ito yung additional niya. Okay? Ayan. Ito, medyo wala, no? Wala yung pareho, di sila pareho. But for this, ito yun naman yung additional na value. Okay? But in most cases, mostly, no? But not all the times, no? We are actually omitting, no, the actual load. So, kaya nato ni siya ginagamit. So, meaning, if you are omitting the actual load, and most conservatively, yung simplified method, no? Yung medyo conservative at the same time for its simplicity. So that is why it is often used, no, in the design, this particular formula here. For shear naman, shear capacity of our reinforcement or stirrups, no, these are the formula that you are going to use. No? For B sub S, or shear capacity for stirrups, that is simply equal to the area of our stirrups times the yield strength, no, of our stirrups times the effective depth divided by the spacing. So take note, we have here Fy sub t. So meron siyang additional na subscript na t because this corresponds to the yield strength of our stirrups. No? Sometimes man go in actual design, the yield strength of our main reinforcement could be different from the yield strength of our stirrups. No? Especially that we based on the based on its critical requirement, mas critical ang atong flexural strength. No? That is why sometimes mas higher ang yield strength sa ang reinforcement nga atong ginagamit in terms of the longitudinal reinforcement compared to our stirrups or steel stirrups or ties. No? Yeah. And if you notice here from this formula, this can be used when the stirrups is arranged vertically. No? Kaya if the stirrups is arranged diagonally or inclined, then you need to add this particular factor. Itong factor na to. Wherein yung alpha na yan, itong alpha na yan, yun yung angle nung inclination ng ating stirrups. Okay? So, meaning we have two formulas, ito plus ito, but take note, no? Take note, this is for the vertical, meaning 0 or 90 degrees yung ating alpha. And for this, if the stirrups are arranged in inclined direction, then you are going to add this particular factor. No? And wherein yung E sub V natin or yung area ng reinforcement is defined by these two provision. No? For each rectangular tie, stirrup, hook, or cross tie, the area of our shear reinforcement shall be the effective area of all the bar legs or wires within the spacing S. No? And for spiral naman, the A sub V shall be 2 times the area of the bar or wire within the spacing. So ano yung purpose or ano yung meaning no nung effective area of all the bar legs, no? So ito 'yon. Okay? Yan. So siguro advance ko gamay ito, no? So we all know that the area of our stirrups is simply pi over 4 times the diameter of the stirrups. Ayan, ito yung individual area niya. You will notice that we multiply it by the number of legs. Okay? Wherein, yung number of legs na yan is ito yon, no? Ayan, so meaning kung isa lang siya, just like this, then the number of legs is equal to 1. If it is arranged like this, the number of legs is equal to 2, no? And if it is arranged like this, the number of legs is equal to 4. Provided that yung share natin is in this particular direction. So, meaning these are our resisting stirrups. Okay? So, in that case, meron tayong 4 legs. No? But if the shear is vertical, like this one, okay, yung magiging number of legs natin is ito na. Okay, so in that case, yung number of legs becomes 2. Dili na siya 4. Okay, so I hope that is clear, no? Nagets ba ni? Nagets ba ning number of legs? Nagets ra ba? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Anyone? Okay. So balik ta diri, no? Okay, so from our shear strength by our stirrups, we can also equate that in terms of spacing, no? Yan, ito. Okay, so we bring this one up and the shear strength down. So the spacing now is simply equal to AV FYT B all over V sub S. And we all know that the nominal moment capacity is simply the sum of the concrete strength, shear strength, and the steel shear strength. So meaning the V sub S is simply Vn minus V sub C. And Vn is simply ultimate divided by the reduction factor. Then V sub S can be equal to this one, the VO reduction factor minus VC. So therefore, um, since we have the value of V sub is here, we can equate that one or we can substitute this value here. Then the spacing or the spacing of our stirrups can be defined by this particular formula. Okay. Now this is the actual spacing that or required spacing of our stirrups. Then we also have an additional requirements. No? So for example, the minimum area of our stirrups or ties can be defined by this equation. No? The ratio between the minimum and that of the spacing is simply equal to the greater or the maximum value between this formula and this formula. Okay? So meaning kung ato siyang ana magana siya supposedly, di ba? Over S. So kung ato siyang i-bring up dito ang may tabo, okay? Eto na, no? So meaning the minimum value of our steel or our stirrups or shear reinforcement will be the greater value between this formula and this formula. Whichever is higher, that will be the minimum value. Okay? And take note, since this is minimum, no? Pag minimum ang God, when you say minimum yung area natin, that means our spacing will be maximum. Di ba? So, kung maximum naman yung or maximum naman yung, but usually wala yung maximum, no? Only minimum. Okay? So, minimum. So, meaning yung ating maximum spacing, since we are going to relate that one, the maximum spacing of our stirrups, we are going to relate that one to the minimum area of our reinforcement. So, meaning if you are going to get the value of the S here, we're in this S here, or the spacing here is maximum, then that would be the lesser value between this formula and this formula. Take note, this formula, gikan na pa na siya diri, no? So ato na siyang ibali ato ni siyang isaka FYT, ito yon, no? AV FYT divided by 0.062 square root of FC prime BW. Pero simple din, no? Saka dito na money, no? So this is now the maximum um, based on the strength requirement, no? Shear strength requirement, this is the maximum spacing, no? Or distance of our stirrups. Okay? And additional requirement for the maximum spacing of shear reinforcement, if our shear strength provided by the steel reinforcement is equal or less than 0.33 square root of FC prime BW times D, pag mao daw kuno ni ang condition, no? The maximum spacing is the lesser value of D over 2 and 600. Okay? Of course, itong value na to, ato pa na i-compare po dire, no? Yung ating eto. Kumbaga, imong gisolve ang required spacing based on the strength and you check that particular spacing based on this additional requirement. So kung unsay pinakagamay dayon niya, that would be the spacing that we are going to use, or that is the governing spacing. No? Otherwise, if yung B sub S natin is greater than 0.33 square root of FC prime BWD, then mag-change itong value na to, it becomes D over 4 or 300. So meaning, yung magiging scenario is that you solve for the capacity for shear, ito, then you solve for the strength of the required strength in terms of the stirrups, no? And then you solve for the spacing of the stirrups. Itong spacing na to, this defines the spacing of our stirrups based on the strength requirement. Okay? And based from this spacing, di pa na siya final. Kaya imo pa man siyang i-check based on the maximum spacing and the additional spacing, which is this one. Okay? So, meaning kung ang additional spacing is greater than the strength requirement ng spacing or maximum spacing, or lesser than, no? Lesser dapat, no? Lesser than the strength requirement na spacing plus the maximum spacing, then ang mag-govern ka ni. Okay? Otherwise, kung mas gamay ito sila dito, katong previous ng mga relationship, then ang mag-govern is kato. Okay? And from this, we can also relate this, no? This particular value in terms of spacing, wherein the spacing now becomes this one. Okay? So, ato lang maling gi-substitute katong kaning mga values. Right? Okay, so additional provision, no? So, we are talking about B sub U. And we all know na kapag the ultimate shear is maximum at the support. Diba? The maximum shear or the V sub U is maximum at the support. But take note, no, the support location of our beam is not actually the critical section. The critical section is within a distance of D from the face of the support. So meaning we are going to design our stirrups based from the value of the B sub U along this particular distance. Yeah. Okay? So, ito yan. No? Itong V sub U na to. So, meaning, kung naadiri nga to ang D, ito yung D natin. Ito yung V sub U nga ito ang gamiton in the design. Not the maximum value of the V sub U or not the value of the reaction. Okay? Gano man. Gano hingon ana man. Because, at the support, we have the compressive resistance. No? We have the compressive resistance provided by our column. So, this compressive resistance is actually, no, lessen the diagonal tension, thereby increasing our concrete shear strength. No? So meaning since we don't have problem, kay, di ba, if we are going to relate this one in terms of the elastic curve, yung elastic curve natin kapag fix yung beam, no, maging ganito. Okay, so ito yung beam natin, maging ganyan. So mubawag siya diri dapit, so naadri ang critical. No? So and then in this case we are assuming that the critical distance is actually the distance of T. Okay? Yan. So again, no, asa na to basihan nga to ang design sa to ang shear reinforcement? It should be from the shear strength at a distance of D, now from the face of the support. And additionally, only minimum stirrups is required, no? Minimum stirrups lang ko no, ang required ko no, no? If if the V sub u is greater than 0.5 reduction factor BC prime, then the stirrup is minimum. Okay? So from here, no, from the value of the V sub u, no, or yan, or from the B sub, actually from ano to, from B sub S. From B sub S going to 0.5 reduction factor B sub C over B sub C, yung magiging stirrups dito is minimum. No? While if the B sub U is less than this value, 0.5 reduction factor BC or this portion here, then there will be no stirrups that is required. So that is that is actually the explanation why our stirrups is arranged like this. No? At the support, medyo sunson dito ang atuang spacing because the VU here is actually dako. No? It has a bigger value of this value. While as we go on, we at the midspan of our beam, the stirrups now becomes farther. No? At till such time nga wala naging stirrups na itong ibutang diri. Since the shear is equal to 0. Okay? Right. So for seismic detailing naman, no, what would be the required seismic detailing no, for our stirrups? No? According to the seismic detailing of or as seismic requirement, no, our NSCP 2015 section 418.6, naatay tulo ka klase sa spacing. No? The first spacing is measured 50 mm from the face of the support. Ito yung support natin. Dagan tao 50 mm, that will be the first stirrup. Okay? And between the 50 mm going to the distance 2h, or wherein h is the overall depth of our beam, that would be our hoop, no? Or meaning that would be our second type of spacing. We call that one as the hoop bars or hoops. No? Itong part na to, ito yung hoops. And beyond the hoop, we have the third spacing, which is the S sub 2, going to the midspan of the beam where the shear is equal to 0. Okay? So, what are the requirement of this spacing, the S sub 1 and S sub 2, no? Ito yon. For the S sub 1, yan, we don't have problem with S sub O kasi 50 mm yan. No? Dili sad pwede ngayong stirrups na adre largo. Kaya tendency is this reduces the banding requirement for the column and that of the beam. No? So, dapat medyo layo ka dito. Okay? Layo ka na kaya dapat distance of 50 mm. Okay? For the S sub 1, no, the distance S sub 1 is lesser value of this particular provision. No? D over 4, effective depth divided by 4, 6 dB and 150. No? So for example, kung na ako'y beam ngayon ani, effective depth of 400, halimbawa lang, effective depth niya 400. Okay? And it has a tensile reinforcement using 20 mm and top reinforcement of 16. Yung magiging D over 4 ko will be 400 divided by 4. I will have a value of 100. Ako'y value diri na 100. The second requirement is 6 times the longitudinal reinforcement. Yung D sub B natin is simply equal to the longitudinal reinforcement. But take note, the longitudinal reinforcement that we are going to use is actually the smaller main bars. So comparing now our top reinforcement and bottom reinforcement, 16 and 20, the less reinforcement is actually 16. So that means itong value na to will be 6 times 16 or 96. Okay? And we can relate this to 95. 96 ba? Can we check daw? 6 times 6, 36. 6 times 1, 6 plus 2, 96. Or say 95. Okay? And 150. Of course, no? Least value. So, meaning ang mag-govern is ito 95. Okay? So, ito dapat, yung maging spacing nito, according to this example, will be 95. Okay? Yan, 95 dapat. Right? And yung S sub 2 naman, no, it should not be greater than D over 2. Okay? So, seismic detailing na siya. Now, for example, D over 2 mo, effective depth is 400 divided by 2, naka 200. No? But based on your calculation, you require, sa itong strength requirement, required siya og 100 mm, dapat ang mag-govern 100 mm. Okay? Yan. So, ang seismic detailing lang natin or seismic requirement, we are providing or we are having it na para medyo masunson yung or madugol ang mga reinforcement natin, especially at the near the support. No? Kasi nandito yung mga plastic hinges or this is the part wherein usually dito mag-fail yung ating beam. No? So additional requirement, no? The stirrup should have this hook, no? Yan. Or itong hook na to. Now, wherein yung hook natin should be 135 degrees. So, for example, ito, no? This is 135 degrees. And ito din, it should be 135 degrees. Okay, so wala dapat stirrups nga ditso-ditso lang siya diya, ana lugar. No? But that is very, or that is non-compliance with the code. Or, naka-stirrups nga, igwa rin mo gibawag pa, ana lang, wala kayo na mo 135 degrees. So, non-compliant kaya po na siya. And also, the length, no, of our hook should be the greater value between 6 dB and 75 mm. Whichever gives us the maximum value based on this formula, that would be the length of our hook. Alright? Okay? So, now, going back to our picture, ayan, this one, ito, okay? So, asa man daw diri or what particular instance or detail here where our stirrups is not compliant, no? Asa man diri karon nga non-compliant ang ato ang stirrups. Anyone from the group? Yes, anyone? Can you sa may mag-volunteer diya? So, balik na ko diri, May I hear any answer from the group? Hello everyone. Nabay volunteer o nabay nasabtan sa to ang lecture. Kasi nawa mo na minaw niya, igor mo na katin-atin ha. Wa may mag-answer. Wa may mag-answer sa kubang tana. Hello? Abay tawo? Buhi pa mo diha? Are you still there?
Na pa sir.
Okay, so anyone, no? Asabay part diri nga non-compliant ang atuang stirrups based from this picture.
Ang spacing, sir.
Okay, so that is actually correct, no? It should not be equally spaced, no? Naamantay requirement niya. Ano sa baba? Sa lain.
Based ako
Sir.
sir kay ang ihang length sir and ang yang tumoy sir kay wala atong naka-hook bitaw sir.
Okay. So ito, no? This should be hooked, no? Sa ato ang main reinforcement like this. Okay? Or eto dapat dili yun no? It should be like that. Okay. Okay, so mao na ang kumbaga ang non-compliant niya. And of course, this spacing. Dapat dugol dapit sa may support. Kung mao na yung support, mao na yung column nato. Dapat dugol na siya diri. Okay. Okay. So, any question so far? Do you have additional question, clarification? Do you have any clarification?